Hey folks, how's it going? I just learned a major piece about myself, and I needed to clear the air here on the channel for just a couple minutes. So I'm just gonna wait for a few people to get here, and then I'm gonna go ahead and dive into what exactly I have to say. It's a little breezy out right now, so I hope that you can hear me okay. And luckily, it's moderate weather. It's been snowing this week, so today it's a little nicer, so I can be outside for a few minutes here. Well, let's see here. Hold on a second. Let's see. Okay, I think I can get started. I don't know if anybody's watching or not. I can't tell on my phone for some reason. There's a little bit of a lag for the viewers here. So we just did a live stream. We had our wonderful audience member Shane on, and Mercury was there as well, my partner on this channel, co-host. And the stream took a bit of a strange turn in that we started talking about whether certain conspiracies were valuable or valid, and what sort of evidence is or isn't valid in that particular circumstance. And the part of me that I call the challenger, who gets really intense about things, got swept away. And in getting swept away, I focused on an external argument on a channel that's really about looking within. And the consequences of this were brought to my attention because I had a conversation with an audience member afterwards, and I could tell by the feeling of the conversation and the words that we spoke that there is a sense of trust between us, between me and certain audience members, that gets betrayed when I focus on global commentary, because the opinions are so diverse and there are so many different investments in certain beliefs. And what happens is that when I do that, I sacrifice the internal commitment to people working on themselves on this channel. And that's what this is all about. And what I've realized on that phone call with that audience member was that, by God, what I'm actually here to do in this world is to help people to connect to their souls and to live the best life they can from an inner perspective, to learn who they are, to make the most soul-directed choices, to live mindfully, to sort themselves out psychologically. And I realized that my quasi-global political commentary put a wedge between me and this individual. And at that moment, my epiphany was, I've sacrificed my main purpose in this world, which is to bring to others a sense of connection and healing. Because I started with opinion and external validation and grander philosophies about the state of the world, instead of looking at the basic questions of, who are you? How can we live in this situation? Who do we need to be? And what is it about us personally that we have control over that can help us live through difficult times in life in the world? Now, there's a place for commentary on the world. There's a place for opinion. And a lot of people, great intellectuals that you may not agree with, are constantly putting opinions about the state of the world out there. But for me, when I look at it from a psychological perspective, as someone who's invested in the field of psychology, getting too tied up in those opinions actually closes me off from certain people that I might potentially help, or that otherwise there would be a productive result to our interactions. So I learned that for me, it's really important to focus here on this channel on personal growth and development, and also talking about psychology and philosophy. We can talk about different ideas. And when it comes to those different ideas, always bringing it back to how they may or may not apply to us as individuals. Now, I can't get around having opinions. I can't get around sharing some of those opinions, especially when it comes to my personal area of expertise in the psychological field that I'm studying. However, aside from that and beyond that, there are certain areas where I would be better off holding my tongue and looking at things from more of a psychological lens. And so, yeah, there's not really a whole lot else to say about that other than I learned about myself today. I learned when I do that, it interferes with my impact on others, and that, again, what I'm really here to do is focus on psychological growth and healing and the ideas that correspond with that, the ideas that help us with that. So, yeah, I'm not saying that I'm going to avoid opinion, and at the same time, I'm going to be very selective and careful about areas where I get into something that's outside the scope of my purpose. Does that make sense? If you're watching, I hope that makes sense. And it was nice talking to this audience member for a little bit just to get a sense of how upsetting it was to them to have a topic that they disagreed on me with so fervently. And it's like the opposite of why I'm here. And that challenger part of me, which is the subpersonality that is very prone to argumentation and debate, once he gets going, it's hard to stop him. And so it's up to my soul and the mindfulness within myself and the other parts of who I am to catch that and to ask myself, is it really necessary right now? Is this a conversation that you need to be having? Because there are certainly times when I need that assertive energy in my life, and on the channel as well. It's just about having discernment. That's a big thing with sorting ourselves out, is being able to discern which aspects of our personality we need to utilize and when. And being open-minded and willing to learn when a particular subset of who we are goes off the trail of our purpose. So I'm not really beating myself up. It was a mistake. I learned from it. There's no reason for the self-sabotage or self-criticism to come in at this point, because I'm learning from it. And so I feel good about that. I feel good about what I learned. And I feel positive about the direction that I'm heading out from this point on. And so you can just take this for what it is. I think I made a bit of a mistake. I went outside the scope of my purpose, and now it's time to own up to it and get back on track. And that's all I can do. And yeah, if anyone else felt similar to the audience member that was listening, who had shared that it was frustrating, then same goes to you. Just hear what I said. It's not so much of an apology for my opinion as a taking ownership of what I'm doing is distracting from what I need to be doing, what I'm here to be doing. It's easy to go there too, in this crazy time that we're in. So yeah, my main concern is that whatever you believe, wherever you're from, whatever your world looks like to you, that there's one thing that we can focus on that I think we can agree on, that I hope that a lot of us can agree on. Certainly not everybody, but that we can look within answers, we can focus on our personal development and live the best life we can. And whatever it is that we believe, we can choose those beliefs for the best reasons we can find personally. And that's all we could really ask of ourselves. So yeah, I'm going to be quiet for a little bit and reflect on this. That's it, us. Thank you for your comment. You said it's difficult to deal with conflicting ideas. I usually try to be patient as I can. You said everyone has conflicting ideas. Yeah, everybody has their own beliefs, and I'm just focusing on what my level of expertise is so that I can help as many people as I can with sorting themselves out. And I feel like that's what I'm certified in. That's where my training is. That's what I've been building up to for years. That's what I do with clients, and so for me to go too far outside of that and get into political issues or talking about uh, conspiracies, whether they're true or false, is just not what I'm here for, regardless of how valuable my opinion may or may not be. So for anybody who felt like I broke some level of trust, I hope that this can be seen as an attempt to mend that. And for those of you that agreed with me, well, that's great too. We agreed on that. And now I'm back to what I feel like I need to be doing. So that's it. If there's any quick comments or questions about what I've said, I'll stay here for a second and I'll log off here if there's not. So I'll just give it a minute and see if anybody has anything to say. See here. Dustadust says, take care, keeping you in my prayers. Thank you, Dustadust. I really appreciate that. That means a lot. You take care as well. Patty says, one love. Mercury says, you covered it well. Thank you. Good. Fantastic. All right, everybody. Have a great evening, afternoon. Shane, love you too.